Hello and welcome to the City of London. We're here at Hiscox Insurance, right in the heart of the city as part of the Insure Our Survival campaign. What we have going on here is an occupation from the Christian climate activists. So they've come in to the heart of the insurance agency as part of this week-long campaign that is looking at the fact that the weak point in the fossil fuel industry is that all of their activities need to be insured. And our demand is that insurance companies should stop enabling fossil fuels to be able to operate. So the fossil fuel companies aren't looking to try to curb their activities anytime soon, but insurance cover their risks. And so our demand is insurance companies stop covering their risks, make it impossible for them. Do not insure any new oil and gas projects. And so these wonderful rebels are in there occupying, talking to the different workers who were there, talking to them about actually the power that each individual has to speak up for the need for climate action, particularly with the insurance industry. So this is a part of a week of activities where Extinction Rebellion is on the streets. It's following on from activities in February of last year, the Insure Our Future campaign. So this is Insure Our Survival. Stick with us because there's going to be a lot more coming, a whole week of excitement for you, both in London and out in the different regions and nations of the UK.
Hi, who are you and what are you doing here?
My name is Melanie and I'm part of Christian Climate Action, which is part of the Extinction Rebellion Faith Bridge. And we're here with a group of other faiths. We've got some Buddhists and someone of Jewish and other faiths. We're here to protest Hiscox, who haven't ruled out insuring the East Africa crude oil pipeline. And we think that it's a matter of justice that companies do not insure fossil fuel projects that contribute to global warming and to the climate change that is desperately affecting people in places like East Africa.
So what is the East Africa ECOP? What is that?
ECOP. The East Africa crude oil pipeline is taking oil, which is a particular type of oil that needs a heated pipeline, across from East Africa to the coast. There's going to be a big port built in, I think, Tanzania. And what it's doing is displacing local communities along its way. So not only is there an impact on people because of the issues about leaking oil and the prospective pollution, but they're actually taking their land and driving them off it. Now, they promised compensation, but there are two problems with that. One is they're not paying it, and secondly, it actually just drives people to the cities. These are people who have farmed this land for more than generations. It's their way of life, their cultural way of life, and they're just being compulsorily repossessed for this project, which will not benefit them at all. So it really is one of the deepest injustices. Not only are they caught by the global warming, which is causing droughts and flooding where they live, but they're also just losing their way of life. And we think, both from a faith perspective, but from any moral perspective in this world, that is wrong.
So you're targeting insurance company because they're insuring the companies who are part of the ECOP setup.
They are still, as far as we know, considering insuring them, and they haven't ruled it out, and that, I think, is a big problem, because if they ruled it out, firstly, it would mean that there would be a lack of finance security for these operations, but also they'd be sending a clear message to other insurers that this is not the right thing to do. But the big thing we know is that fossil fuel projects can't go ahead without insurance. And so if they decline to insure it, that would leave others to carry the risk. They'd be less likely to, and these projects just wouldn't go ahead.
Okay, thank you for your time.
So, yeah.
So what brings you out here on a cold October day in London?
Well, I'm Sue, and I'm an Anglican priest, and I'm part of Christian Climate Action. And in my old age, I'm 82, I believe that the best thing I can do with my life is give myself to do whatever I can to confront the climate catastrophe. And that means confronting the fossil fuel industry that is the evil part of our society now, and of course the insurance companies and the banks that fund the fossil fuel industry, governments that allow themselves to be make policies that favor the fossil fuel industry, all of that. All this is bringing us, humanity and the other creatures, to near extinction. And so, for the sake of future generations and the sake of the global south now, and many other parts of the world, like rich America, that are suffering from the climate crisis now, I must do all that I can to sound the alarm, to get people to wake up. And whatever I have to do, I must do it.
Thank you.
Train.
And you just have to stick your head around the corner and just see this gorgeous place.
Good morning, how are you? What are you doing here this morning?
We're outside this building because Hiscox are inside and they're still insuring oil and gas projects. They've recently insured, I think it's 5 LNG terminals on the US coast, and we just think that's a little bit crazy right now. Why are they still doing it? Just trying to eke out that last bit of money, those last pound signs, as clearly the oil and gas industry will be gone in a few years' time. So why don't Hiscox find some new industries to insure and not just try and extract these last few pennies out of this one? That's my view anyway.
Excellent. Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Cheers.
Hello, I'm Mary and I'm here today in the lobby of an insurance company. The reason is that every business needs insurance and the oil industry is no different. Insurers are the facilitators of climate breakdown through facilitating the extraction of ever more coal and gas, which is destroying the environment and killing the biosphere. This is a very important link in the chain of environmental destruction, and we're going to carry on protesting like this until every insurance company in Britain stops insuring climate destruction.
My name's Phil. I'm a retired engineer and I'm here in the lobby of 22 Bishopsgate to protest at the role the insurance industry is playing facilitating extraction of yet more fossil fuels and yet more fossil fuel industry, such as where they carry out insurance and also where they invest their money, but they're also investing in fossil fuel industries, and remove it to ethical investors, people who announce that they're not going to insure ECOP or any of the other projects that are killing our world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephen and I'm here because I'm very concerned about climate change and what it will do to my child and other children and future generations. and insurance companies have a big role to play in the fossil fuel industry. Fossil fuel concerns can't go unless they have the backing of insurance. And last time when Insure Our Futures went to Zurich agreed not.
Or not, they still need insurance. Or not, they still need insurance. So all around the world, dirty oil, gas, coal expansion projects and companies come here to the City of London and talk to the insurers here in the City of London because they need insurance for their project, or they can't do it. Anything that gets dug up or extracted, it needs insurance. So we're here today to tell them no longer up or extracted, it needs insurance. So we're here today to tell them no longer, there's no future for oil, gas and coal, and there's definitely this is not the time for oil, gas and coal expansion. There's 100...
Sure, have the tower behind me. Okay, here we are now. This has been a really exciting...
Our group. So yeah, I'm here with everyone else to try and stop. Insurance companies insuring our fossil fuels, and we want to ensure our survival.
That's absolutely brilliant. So have you come with a group of people?
Yes, there's a group of probably about a dozen of us, I think. Hopefully, we haven't all met up yet, but I think there's quite a few of us around. A few of them are drumming. So yeah, it's a good crowd of us.
That's great. And did you coordinate your costumes?
No, there's all various. In fact, there's one lady who has a designed jacket with bits of poo on and things, which is worth seeing. So try and look out for her.
That feels very, very relevant because we're obviously having all the problems with pollution in the sewage in the rivers, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I mean, she comes from Hitchin, where they had flooding there, and they had a lot of sewage which was going into people's gardens, which is absolutely disgusting. So we just want to try and make insurance companies see sense. It just makes no business sense to be insuring fossil fuels, because that's just expediting the problem. So it's absolutely crazy what they're doing. So we just want to try and make them see sense.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is we all know what's coming for us, and we still have to keep this up, don't we?
We certainly do. And the sooner they see sense and change their policies, the better, because they're all as bad as each other. They all have links with the fossil fuel industry. So we just need them to stop, because they're insuring stranded assets. It's absolutely crazy. Why on earth would a business want to do that?
It continues to amaze us that people keep that up. And how long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been linked with XR since about 2020. I started my own group at the time, so I wanted to build up a network. I have a group called Your Planet Saving Ideas, which is all about trying to find ideas, because I'm sure that there's 8 billion of us on the planet. We're all capable of having ideas that could make a difference. So I like to try and encourage people to share their ideas. So I have this Facebook group and encourage people to post any ideas they have. It don't have to be any, it could be big, small, simple or complex, but they all need to be shared, because there might be something out there that could make a big difference.
Well, that's a really interesting combination of sort of practical things that you can do, and also
comes from individuals. So we all have a role to play by just taking these 6 simple shifts. That can be a way of making a difference as well.
That's fabulous. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Now, if you had one thing you wanted to say to folks back home, what would it be?
Come and join us. We can all make a difference. It's very empowering. Don't think that there's nothing you can do. We can all do something. So even if it's just signing a petition or just join a group, just support. And you can make a difference. We're all in this together. It's everybody's future. We just have to really just pull together. If we all pull together, we can make a huge difference. So just get engaged and join in.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the march.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so that's the beginning of people. I see a few more folks are joining us now, and I've got some more. We're back again. So, hello, lovely to meet you. What's your name?
Anne-Marie.
Hello, Anne Marie. So, what brings you out today?
Oh, the fact that the fossil fuel companies are being paid out by the insurance companies when people who've had floods and fires can't get insurance, And if it weren't for the insurance companies, they couldn't have new mines and new gas and pipelines and things like that. So they're helping to destroy our planet and they're profiting from it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting contradiction. Absolutely. And so here you are on the streets. Have you done this before?
Yes, quite a few times with the with the high-speed rail. I walked the Red Bull Trail, and I've been coming since 2019. Sort of found Roger Hallam at a time where I'd spent a couple of years sort of hearing bad news and pretty well crying every day without feeling like I could do anything about it. But activism is the antidote to depression. So the more you get involved, the less miserable you feel. You feel like you're doing something, and you're in like-minded company. So that's I've been doing it since 2019, and I've come quite a lot. But coming from Wales, it's not easy. But I have some excellent hosts. So you can get hosts down in London, which make it possible.
That's great. I mean, I think sometimes it feels like people think that protest is all gloom and doom, but for you, it's been a hopeful act then.
Yes. I feel that there is a movement that more and more people lots of people are worried about the climate crisis. In fact, there's a lot of depression in the young people, but once they get active, they do feel more inspired and happy that the numbers are swelling. Even though it's a small group here, there are other things going on as well. So all over the country, and we're working together. And once we reach that, Roger Hallam said 3.5% of the population, the tipping point in social changes, then we'll get hurried action. Hopefully before the AMOC crashes.
That's brilliant. And you've got a bit of a costume on today, so we have a look with the camera at your costume here. You look like you're ready to go to the beach, because the beach is coming to you, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Even in Wales.
Yes, and it's not just the small island countries that will suffer. We are an island, and we will flood. London, it's a very important thing. One of my daughters doesn't listen to the news at all because she finds it so depressing. She has little children who could be in their 30s and 40s when the floods start. But certainly, I mean, places like Fairborn, they're already uninsurable. Already people have tried to sell their houses and can't because they're one of the first places uninsurable. Already people have tried to sell their houses and can't because they're one of the first places that are actually starting to flood even now.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, we're out here on today in the streets, and you're doing what you can for it. So we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and we hope you have a good connecting protest with people.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much. So these things always take a little bit of time to kick off. People are gathering together. We can see over here that the main banners are coming together. It's raining, even though it wasn't supposed to rain today. And we've got here, let's just take a little look at this. Ensure our survival, not fossil fuels. Boy, I really like how that sums up the message. Because sometimes ensure our survival, what does that mean? But it's particularly aimed at fossil fuels. Would you like to tell us your name and tell us what brought you here?
I'm Jane, and I'm with Debs. We've come up from Cornwall to protest today because we're part of West Penwith XR and Transition and Sustainable Hell and all the other stuff that are trying to do good things.
So you're involved with a lot of different things.
A little bit, yeah.
That's wonderful. That's a long trip from Cornwall up here today. What was it in your heart that made you come out on this day?
Well, it's all about raising awareness and reducing our carbon use and getting that message out to Joe Blogs on the street, because it's all very scary now, isn't it, in terms of what's going to be happening in the future. And
the future's coming to meet us now, isn't it?
Yeah. Our elders are very good at low carbon lifestyles. There weren't any plastics. We had leaky Tupperwares.
Speaking on camera to us?
Not today, I'm sorry.
No camera today. That's speaking on camera to us?
Not today, I'm sorry.
No camera today. That's absolutely fine. We also we have all different kinds of people who want to speak and don't, and that's fine. But you're here, and we're grateful for that. And I love your hat. So we're going to come over here. This is a very interesting. So we're going to come over here. This is a very interesting. The car soup. Tell me about this.
Car soup. We've all seen the floods and what happens. Cars float. So someone said car soup, and I thought that kind of said it, really, didn't it? It's disgustingly uninsurable. Car soup. At what point will they suddenly say, "Oh, well, we can't insure all those cars"? All those people start thinking longer term. They, will start thinking longer term. Precautionary principle is what is supposed to make. Precautionary principle is what is supposed to make to be running. To be run insurance, and they just don't seem to have gone for the precautionary principle.
Soup installation.
Yeah, this is the what we all see when we see a flood. We see the cars floating. It's one of the first things you notice is all the vehicles just take off, and sometimes the most awful thing is they still have a person in them, and then you think that must be terrifying.
And that's the power of water, that it literally can just wash big cars away.
It washes everything away. We've seen lorries, we've seen buses, we've seen, and of course lots of cars. Cars go first because they're light. But it just feels like we need to pay more attention to how we live and give the message to the big the big powerful companies, the insurance companies, who need to talk to government and say we need to change, we need to stop drilling, they need to stop insurance, they need to make sure that they're future-proofing. They need to start with the precautionary principle, which is what insurers should be, underpin insurance, future-proofing for generations to come, because if not, we're not going to have a livable planet. The earth will be so despoiled, and insurance is really key in making sure that the things that are bad don't happen. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should. Let's have some wisdom. So I think the elders try and have a bit of that.
Rise above the love of power. I believe that one fine day, I believe that one...
Just going to rehearse this one.
You're going to get the rehearsal, folks, but I'm sure it's going to be lovely.
Okay, so we've got basses, tenors here, alto, and soprano.
You're all seeing here the reality of what it's like to do singing on the streets, getting ourselves together. This is part of being a scrappy rebel activist group.
Doing about it. The seas are rising, what are we doing about it? The seas are rising, what are we doing about it? It's time to act.
Okay, climatechoirmovement.org. Go there, get involved. Thank you so much. We might catch up with you later if we hear some singing. Enjoy. So let's see who else is here getting ready. So, hello. I'm from the live stream gang. I've also got a BSL interpreter here. So, who are you and how are you interpreter here? So, who are you and how are you here? What are you up to?
So I'm Esme. I'm based in London. I have been coming to XR stuff for a few years, on and off, and I'm very excited that there's something happening again with coming together with people. And it's the insurance company focus that I think is so important to highlight.
So what is it about the insurance company that speaks to you particularly?
I think it can feel quite confusing when there's all of this system. You know, we talk about fossil fuels, but there's also the systems propping it up, and we know that that's government. Systems propping it up, and we know that that's government. Approving new oil and gas licenses, things like that. But also, I think insurance companies and the banks and the insurance companies funding the fossil fuel companies, or at least giving protection to them. Something that people don't really realise is another pillar in all of that. And so these kind of actions, I think, we're on the live stream, like online as well, people doing actions online. It means that we start to talk more about that, start to learn about it. I'm learning, I'll learn today more, I hope.
Yeah, and that's the really interesting thing, because I think, climate change doesn't have one simple solution. We really talk about climate change, dealing with that is system change. And so I guess a day or a week
hope will help. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's really interesting to me, is how we have people from all different kinds of careers and backgrounds and things like that. And art historian and climate activist don't necessarily go together in people's minds, but for you it's obviously quite important.
Yeah, I first got involved with XR around the time that I was starting to study art history, and I realized that what's the point of studying art history if the planet is burning and the world is so in such a mess. And I realized, right, I want to do something that I love. I need to carve out something that links these two things together, kind of selfishly in a way. But because I think climate action, I have to do that for my own sanity. And so, I've come to this at the same time as art history, and for me it's very linked, and I see a lot of that in lots of people doing things in their personal lives or their professional lives that connect climate with what they love. So
you're a historian who also appreciates the need to make history.
Yes, I think so. And I think also the hypocrisy of how we write history. The suffragettes are lauded now and celebrated, and there are statues, but the people who are doing direct action now for climate justice and, justice for Palestine are being imprisoned and villainized. And so, it's the irony of how we see history, and we create these heroes in history when actually we've got the heroes now as well who aren't having that kind of reception. So,
Yeah, and we don't really have 100 years to wait for the world to come around to realizing they had the right idea.
Yeah, and I think that there's the urgency that we have today. We think so much about the present and the future, but there's also the urgency that can sometimes stop us wanting to learn from history, look back and reflect on it. And so we need to be doing all those things at once. It's a little bit of a balancing act, because I definitely feel the urgency hugely. And so sometimes I think, what is the point of looking back? My PhD, I'll finish in 3 or 4 years, and we'll have crossed tipping points by that time, irreversible tipping points. And that's very scary and urgent. So things like actions like this, doing actions in your community, and having conversations about climate action and climate justice is so important.
And do you have students who are part of your program who are interested in talking about these kinds of things? Or do we have a lot of heads buried in the sand, kind of?
I think it's somewhere in between. I think people, they know I'll always be raising the climate crisis at every opportunity. And people are very receptive to that, because actually most people are really scared and most people really care. But it can feel like you don't really know where to start. And I think also can feel like that it's a role that I have, that I'm the climate activist, and then they're not, they don't identify with that role. So there's something about recognizing that everyone can have a place, you carve it out for yourself, and it can feel a bit lonely at times. So, for anyone watching, I would say trying to connect with other people in real life, or, even on a Zoom meeting or something like that, it does help.
Well, and Extinction Rebellion has local groups all over the country, don't they? So it's easy to go to one and find community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am, speaking of, I'm trying to carve out a community I'm at UCL. There are lots of academics doing a lot, particularly for Palestinian liberation. And it's all overlapping, it all intersects.
All injustice is linked.
And so I think, finding a community where you are, because people generally, they do care. And I think I'm converting maybe some people on my course and students, but everyone's, they are. I don't want to, because there's so many ways of doing activism as well. Maybe some people wouldn't feel as comfortable coming on a march. And that's okay. I don't want to be judging, what people are doing, and it's not a hierarchy of that. So,
Yeah, I guess get active in whatever way feels comfortable to you. But I think there's a kind of that first step is always uncomfortable. That first step out of your comfort zone of doing something different is hard. But we still need people to step up in the way that calls to them.
We do, and I think also it's given me so much from that I wouldn't have expected at all. I mean, speaking on a live stream, I've done this a couple of times over the years, and that does something. You know, you feel more confident. You connect with somebody, and it's little things like that, which it's not for personal gain that you do this, but you do gain things from a personal point of view as well. And so, yeah, I think it's uncomfortable. It's also very rewarding, and it's it feels like a big leap of faith to do it. Yeah, and you get to, I guess I'm saying it's not a personal gain. You do get to feel quite good about yourself.
Yeah, you can go to sleep at night feeling like at least you're part of trying.
Yeah, and I think that's often the feeling that can really get you feeling really down, is where you feel like I don't really know how to contribute, and no one person is gonna have that magic bullet, or we're all coming together and chipping away at it. So that's the key.
Lovely. Well, thank you for sharing your own journey with that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been really nice to talk to you. I hope it's a good live stream, and thank you for doing the video.
Yeah, great to have the BSL here.
Introduce the signing lady. Tell us all about it.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm just here to interpret.
Brilliant. Okay. So I have a sign coming up here. Do you want to come over this way? Here we go. Well, this is extra clear. Stop ensuring climate chaos. Tell me more about your message today.
I I just want to keep this issue in the public mind. I just to engage with it. I think that's more or less my position. And that's what I really like about XR's approach to this. It's kind of fun, but serious. I think that can be quite well and quite intelligently. When I think we don't take it so we don't, but yet I think that might be a way, because I'm totally confused by why we are not dealing with this more seriously. And I just think for some reason, people just haven't done the math,
Or people are just burying their heads in the sand because they don't know what to do, and it all just feels too much.
Sure, yeah. There's that disconnect between government and then the individual. And maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe that's the way forward. Maybe somehow sort of join those two distant points in some way. And I think coming out and demonstrating is a great, for anyone listening to this, it's a great way of getting into that and dealing with your own anxiety. At least that's how one of the reasons I'm out here.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
Take care then. So it looks like everybody's starting to get lined up. It's all coming together. I am really excited that I'm seeing a pink boat over there. Oh, it's just started to go down a little bit. It's not the pink boat, but it is a pink boat. It looks like a pink life raft. And given the amount of flooding that's going on around the world, I think a life raft feels like a particularly important symbol, but I'm not sure you can catch it on camera. Let's go over and see if we can catch it a little bit more. We're going to have a look at this lovely pink lifeboat, and then I'm wondering, John, if I can grab you for a minute. I've just got myself excited about the pink lifeboat here. If we zoom in, we can see right there, but I think it's going to play a bigger role in this. John, do you want to come and stand over here? Yeah? Great. So we've also got our BSL interpreter. So I've already introduced you as John. Okay. What are you doing here today?
Okay, I'm John from River in the Band, and we're going to play some some songs later on at the end of the march, and we're going to play some of our own music, including 3 Degrees, which is our song which we've done a video of, which with XR Actions in it, so we're really proud of that, and that's just been launched, so that's what we're doing here today.
Great, so
And
the
protesting.
so the band is, I just want to make sure we caught that on the microphone. Say the name clearly.
It's called Rebel and the Band. We spelled BANNED as a nod to our increasingly diminishing rights of protest in this country.
Great, so you're a direct kind of protest rebel band out there trying to get people on the streets, trying to talk about the issues that are important today.
Yeah, absolutely. And XR, climate change, everything around that. Climate justice is really, really important to us, and actually is in all our lyrics. All of our songs are informed by activism or informed by protest, so we're absolutely delighted to be here today and share some of our music with us to add something to the Day of Action.
Well, that's wonderful. I know that you're playing at the end of the march, and we'll definitely, if everybody's excited to hear about them, you get to hear that when we get to that end of it. But you've been involved in Extinction Rebellion before this, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been involved for about 4 years now, actually. Got involved just before lockdown, actually. So, yeah, I've been involved for, 5 years nearly now, which has been fantastic, actually. And just an incredible movement. I'm so proud to be involved with it. But I think it's just doing good. Really, our music and XR, we're speaking truth to power. And that's the most important thing. Just to speak truth to power. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I would love to talk to you more, but we're going to pick up some of this speech now. Thank you, John.
The lady in the white top are from Africa.
Okay, let's see if we can pick up this feed right now.
We're going to do the speech first.
Glad to be here on the streets.
Please listen to Sean, who will explain access things, and hello to Anne-Marie, who is doing a BSL interpreter, who is here visible to look at.
Thank you very much. Just to say that if you need to come closer to here, please do that. Please make sure that you can hear the speaker. At any of the stops, if you need to do the same, just ask people if you can get through to the middle. We've got Action Wellbeing people here. Action Wellbeing, who've got blue flags. We've got loads of gear in case you need it. So if you're feeling that things are getting too uncomfortable in any way, whether it's overwhelmed, whether you need a rest, whether you're hungry, brought snacks, find the blue Wellbeing. We've also got weighted blankets and ear protectors and earplugs. If you get really tired for any reason and you feel you need a little ride in a wheelchair, we've also got a wheelchair. And we've got our own power station, portable power station, if you're a power chair user and need a top up. So come to us in Action Wellbeing with the blue flags if you need anything. And that goes for every single stop today. And we've got chairs if you need to have a sit down at the stops. Thank you so much, Corinne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, so we're here in London because 20 fossil fuel companies insure 70% of all fossil fuel projects, 20 insurance companies. Many of these are within the City of London, and we'll visit several of them today. So we're here to ensure our survival. Ensure our survival! Woo! Let's head off.
Okay, so where is my cameraman now? That was a very, very short speeching there. I guess we're going to do most of the speeches at the end. So we're going to go around and see who else here wants to be part of this.
The people from Africa.
Yes, there are some people from Africa, and I don't know where they went. I'm being directed by my cameraman right now, straight ahead. So we talk a lot about what's happening in the global south. It would be really nice to hear from them. They've got a banner here. Hi. I'm wondering if you would like to be on the live stream and talk to us about what's brought you here.
Can we first go maybe on the line and then we can do the interview?
Yeah, would you like to do that later?
Yes, we want to do it.
Well, why don't you introduce yourselves? Where have you come from today?
I'm Evelyn Acham. I'm from Uganda. I work with the Agape Earth Coalition, and we're here today to demand polluters to pay. We're here to demand for climate justice for our countries that have been affected so much by climate change, like devastating floods, prolonged droughts, which is already worsening the impacts so that people are already experiencing, like hunger. There's a lot of hunger in our communities. There's starvation. There's gender inequality. Children are dropping out of school because of climate change. So we are here to tell our story. We are here to amplify the stories of people from most affected areas with climate change.
Well, we're so pleased that you're here and part of this. I don't want to interrupt your preparations. I will find you later and hear more. Thank you for being here. Yeah, really important to hear these voices from the global south, but it's always a little bit chaotic here as we're getting everybody together. And when I checked my weather app this morning, it said there wasn't going to be any rain. So I'm not very prepared, but it looks like because it's a flooding action and everybody's wearing a lot of water-themed clothes, perhaps Mother Nature decided to participate with us and give us a little bit of the wet stuff. So I'm looking over here towards the Tower of London, that huge bastion of British strength, and the British Empire, which has such a strong role to play in climate. And I've got here somebody with a wonderful banner. Let's see here. Ensuring oil equals drowning lives. Tell us about what brought you here today.
Well, I cannot be one of these people who just ignores it and does nothing. And I'm just getting really annoyed at the people who do that. We are the people alive now, and if we don't do something, I just despair. So I've got to be, you know, I'm not.
That's great. And how for you does this do the themes of insurance and flooding connect?
Well, if every insurance company says they are not going to insure fossil fuels anymore, that will be it for the fossil fuel industry. And it will take, they say, is it 20 years or more, for all the oil wells that we're using now to run out of oil. That will give us enough time to use the new technology and to get on with that, you know. So I just don't think we've got a choice. I really don't. You know, climate change, 4 or 5 years are saying, we haven't got a choice. All the Tories who are saying it's going to cost too much need to wake up, see the facts. You know, they've just got to.
And I think.
One.
So we're here in London today at the start of the Insurer Survival Week of Action, which is 3 days of action in London and actions all across the UK. And we are here to ask the insurers to stop insuring new fossil fuel projects. Without insurance, then fossil fuel projects find it very difficult to go ahead, and where we are at the moment in the current climate, we can't afford to have any new gas, coal and oil projects.
So here we are outside Allianz. Allianz are a massive funder of both fossil fuels, and Allianz are also an investor in Israel. And since the October the 7th atrocities, Allianz have actually upped their spending on weapons for Israel. So here we are at Allianz.
So explain to us why we're here.
Yep, so we're here as Insure Our Survival. It's a campaign of Extinction Rebellion. I'm Gail Bradbrook, I'm one of the co-founders of XR. And Rebels are here today to call out the insurance industry and to say, look, it's not worth insuring new oil and gas projects, because if you do, or if you think you might do, we're going to give you a difficult time. There are already some occupations of offices happening. It's not just that it affects business that day, it affects staff morale, and that is a good tactic to go after. You want your staff to feel well, but we're saying, how can you feel well if your business is complicit in the destruction of the planet? So we're here to make it difficult for insurance to insure new oil and gas, and we're here to ask them not to, because it's really this sort of Achilles heel of the industry. These are businesses that are easier to target, and all they need to do is say, we're not going to do this, and then we'll stop hassling them and we'll focus on the others.
So, can you introduce yourself and why are you here?
So I'm Christelle Blunden, I'm a GP based in Southampton, and I'm here today because AXA are in the top 3 health insurers in the UK, and obviously as health professionals we're very concerned about the climate and ecological emergency, and we're specifically concerned, in line with the insurers, about risks both now and in the future. So, for example, flooding has terrible consequences for health, both immediate and medium to long term. Also heat waves. And we don't understand why an insurer would continue to insure fossil fuel projects that are going to cause catastrophe and are going to cause essentially uninsurable situations. Also, climate impacts health by making healthy people less healthy. You're more likely to suffer illness during a heat wave, even with the slightest of vulnerabilities. And these are the main clients for AXA's health insurance. So we think it doesn't make sense for them to continue to insure. So it's a kind of
double standard in a way.
Yeah, fossil fuel projects. And we were very much hoping to engage with them. We actually sent a letter to the CEO. We sent emails to 274 of their employees. And now we've come to see if they would come down and meet us, but we've been told that they won't, which is really unfortunate, because we think that insurers have an incredible opportunity to insure the future, and we'd like to see them actually taking a stand and taking up that opportunity, and then we wouldn't have to do things like this anymore.
So people watching this, what people at home, what can they do?
Well, it depends. I always say use your power. It depends on your sphere of influence. Anyone working in insurance or finance might be able to form a group within their company to put pressure towards the transition away from fossil fuels. Anyone who has insurance, whether it's home insurance, car insurance, etc., can write to their own insurance company and ask to see their own investment policies on fossil fuels and on transitioning away from fossil fuels. I think most of us have insurance of some form or another, and so most anyone can use their power in that way.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Hello, we're at Insure Our Survival, gathering in Trinity Square. And where have you come from and why are you here?
Yeah. I've come from Southampton and I've came here for this week of action to demand insurance stop insuring fossil fuels. This has real effects because you need insurance to be able to have fossil fuel projects, and other fossil fuel projects have been stopped as a result of this. And so there are huge projects such as ECOP, which is still trying to get insurance and hasn't happened yet because of that. So we're trying to demand all the insurance companies not insure any new fossil fuel projects, and this could have real effects and stop any new projects is the ultimate intention of this week of action.
Thank you. Yay!
No, I turn up.
You do come to meetings?
No, I turn up for these events.
Yeah.
No, I've probably met once.
Yeah. Or happy.
So many people get into mischief. Spring on the waves. Does yours do it? Woo, woo, woo.
These are our lovely stewards who keep us safe on the roads. Thank you for that, Jim.
person who was going to speak to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're just trying to get our text sorted out.
No worries.
So my cameraman's coming around here.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, we're not live yet.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody will tell me something.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Tell me when you're live.
We're live. Go.
Okay, great. The march is underway. This is the exciting bit now. So tell me what your name is.
I'm Paul
Paul, where are you from?
from Tunbridge Wells.
Tunbridge Wells, and you've got some lovely snorkeling gear on.
I have, yes, indeed, yes. Yeah.
Do you enjoy dressing up for Extinction Rebellion marches?
Do you know what? I'm not normally a dresser upper, but for XR, anything goes. Yeah, I love it because everybody else is, so it's just fun.
Yes, it's
it's
good to
serious.
communicate through humour, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very.
So what is it about the insurance that we're doing today that really attracted you to come down to London?
Well, we tried everything, haven't we? We tried to stop fossil fuel extraction, and with limited success, very limited success. But I suppose it is just give you the one chance. If we can actually have any influence on these insurance companies to get them to stop insuring fossil fuel projects, maybe, just maybe, we can stop the extraction.
Yeah, well, it's part of a strategy of kind of picking away at the different things that prop up that whole fossil fuel industry.
Absolutely, yeah. Banking, insurance, etc., yeah.
Brilliant. And have you been doing this for a while, or are you a newbie with XR?
So probably only about 18 months, and we started a group in Tunbridge Wells now, which is going strong, which is great. Not many of us here today because it's a work day, but we'll normally bring 10 or 12 people to events like this now, so yeah, loving it.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming and chatting with us on the live stream. We really appreciate it and enjoy the march. Yeah, great. So I think you're having a little bit of trouble at home hearing us. This is always a problem in London. You think that London has fabulous signal, right? You know, it's the capital, 5G. But on these marches, we struggle. So we do appreciate your patience with us. We're doing our very best to sort it out and to bring you different interviews. But thank you for understanding the technical difficulties of doing this live stream thing. You can hear the amazing band back here. So this is XR Rhythms, and they are really making you want to dance.
Why don't you push your way through the crowd and find someone on the right stage?
So, hello. Welcome to the XR live stream. What's your name?
My name is Rob. I'm from Warwick, and I'm here, and I'm part of XR Warwick districts. Just really excited to be here today. And, I think it's an amazing campaign. It's already had some successes, and it's a great way to get out of the weak spot of the fossil fuel industry. Obviously, they're going to need that insurance. So just pleased to see everyone out. I'm not sure whether it's a good thing that it's actually raining. It fits with the theme, but maybe it just looks like we're actually just sensibly dressed.
Well, it feels to me like Mother Nature is sort of coordinating with the flooding theme.
Yes, actually, maybe that's it. Maybe that is it, yeah. And if it actually starts flooding during the day, then that would be an extra bonus, I guess. But it's been scary seeing all the flooding, and I think people normalise it. And it's that very much that's kind of slow, the slowly boiled frog syndrome, isn't it? I think we're all getting a bit more used to seeing flooding and abnormal weather. And people just kind of shrug their shoulders now in a way, and they just kind of accept it. It's less denialism, but there's this kind of scary acceptance. But I think people feel powerless sometimes, and I think it's really important XR is out here saying we have got power and we can make a difference. And it is a case of, the self-fulfilling prophecy. If we just sit there and say we can't do anything, then that doesn't. Getting away with a bike there. There are those we can really make a difference, and I think this campaign is a great example. So yeah, I'm just really happy to be here and happy to see all these people, and there's some amazing outfits putting me shaming. I've managed to get some more proofs, and I've managed to give myself an extra what's it thing I think.
Well, you look drier than a lot of us, so I see I'm enjoying sticking with you because I'm using your brolly.
Yeah, the brolly has come in useful.
Did you bring it as a prop, or did you bring it for practical things?
I brought it as a prop, yeah, but I didn't realise it was actually going to rain. So yeah, as I say, that's the dilemma we're caught in here, like irony or just actuality. I'll walk a bit faster, shall we?
Right. Oh, I think we need to go over this way. Yeah, Andrew, you're gonna. Yeah. So it's always interesting negotiating a live stream here when we've got trucks in the middle of the way and bicycles and corners and everything else. But you get a real feel for what it's like to be on the march. And I know that a lot of you watching at home are, friends and collaborators with Extinction Rebellion, and you might be at work, you might be at home, you might have caring responsibilities, and so we want you to have a feeling of what it's really like to be here on the ground, being part of this extraordinary community of people who comes together to make a difference. And I'm feeling like I want to get away from the wonderful rhythms, which I would prefer to dance to, but I wonder how well we can understand it. I've got somebody else here who's happy to chat with us.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Christopher.
Hello, Christopher. Welcome to the live stream.
Hello to you. What's your name?
I'm Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Where do you come from, Christopher?
Near to Manchester. Yeah.
So you've travelled down a little ways today?
I have, yeah. I'm like in the forest at the minute. I'm camping like in Thetford Forest. It's beautiful, by the way. Yeah. I like being outdoors.
That
I
sounds
being
lovely.
in nature. Yeah.
So, if you like being in nature, this city is probably the opposite of what you like.
Yes,
Why are
it
you
is, here yeah,
then?
Yeah. Well, I'm here to stand up for, Mother Earth and the planet. We all need to, really. We're the children, and we all need to, stick up for her. She's suffering at the minute. It's all down to money and the elites, or call them whatever you want. Greed, and the planet is suffering. So it's our responsibility to sort it out, basically, to stand up and be counted, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Mother Nature doesn't have a voice here, does she?
No, she doesn't. No. I suppose not like in the physical realm, no. But yeah, we all need to do our bit and stand up for her. Yeah. We need like a new system, really, don't we? We need a new system which operates around taking care of the planet and also taking care of humanity and all life. And we can have those systems, can't we? It's up to the people to do this, is it not? I'd say.
It's all in our hands.
Of course, yeah. We can all live in a world where everyone's equal. And everyone's looked after, everyone's healthy, no one's homeless, no one's starving. And we also take care of the planet. So, obviously, well, as I say, not like everyone goes on about the 1% or whatever it is ruling the planet, and I do see that going on. But surely, the rest of us can stand up and, say, no, we want something different. We want something new. So, yeah, that's why I'm here today, representing, basically.
That's brilliant. I'm really glad that we got to hear your voice with this.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah.
So I'm Christelle Blunden. I'm a GP based in Southampton, and I'm here today because AXA are in the top 3 health insurers in the UK, and obviously as health professionals we're very concerned about the climate and ecological emergency, and we're specifically concerned in line with the insurers about risks both now and in the future. So, for example, flooding has terrible consequences for health, both immediate and medium to long term. Also heat waves. and we don't understand why an insurer would continue to insure fossil fuel projects that are going to cause catastrophe and are going to cause essentially uninsurable situations. Also, climate impacts health by making healthy people less healthy. You're more likely to suffer illness during a heat wave, even with the slightest of vulnerabilities. And these are the main clients for AXA's health insurance. So we think it doesn't make sense for them to continue
so it's a kind
to
of double
insure
standard in a way.
Yeah, fossil fuel projects. And we were very much hoping to engage with them. We actually sent a letter to the CEO, we sent emails to 274 of their employees. And now we've come to see if they would come down and meet us, but we've been told that they won't, which is really unfortunate because we think that insurers have an incredible opportunity to insure the future. And we'd like to see them actually taking a stand and taking up that opportunity, and then we wouldn't have to do things like this anymore.
So people watching this, what people at home, what can they do?
Well, it depends. I always say use your power. It depends on your sphere of influence. Anyone working in insurance or finance might be able to form a group within their company to put pressure towards the transition away from fossil fuels. Anyone who has insurance, whether it's home insurance, car insurance, etc., can write to their own insurance company and ask to see their own investment policies on fossil fuels and on transitioning away from fossil fuels. I think most of us have insurance of some form or another, and so most anyone can use their power in that way.
Thank you for your time.
He's going to start your
How do you arrange your appointments?
So I'm not speaking to you, I'll let the guys deal with you.
Okay, that's fine. So what are you then? You're not part of the management of the
So I'm not going to engage with you, sorry.
That's all right. AXA.
AXA? Who's in AXA you want to speak to?
A chap called Jim Aston. Perhaps you know him as James Aston.
I just want to speak to the lady at the reception.
Okay, good bit. Why would that gentleman engage with me? Why would he not speak to me?
No, he's not one of our employees. Excuse me, sir, what's all this about?
Good morning. So, what has brought you out on a wet and cold day in London?
Just this is very interesting because the insurance companies were expected to insure our well-being, but in the contrary, they are insuring the fossil fuel companies who are hurting our health, damaging the planet. So I need to stand here. I'm complaining. I will fight till they stop this. They are distracting our planet and damaging the health of our community, especially children and elderly people. That's why I'm here.
So, as a health professional,
yes,
you seeing the damaging effects
exactly
of climate change.
Exactly, the fossil fuel effect immediately it is polluting the air in which respiratory infections respiratory problems are rampant right now, and in the long run it is just destroying our planet because of the climate change. We know that the products of the fossil fuel are just aggravating each time the climate change, global warming, and just in producing a lot of problems that everybody knows about this now.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, are we live again? Okay, great. So we're back here live on the streets. This is our Insure Our Survival action. We're here marching through the streets of London because we want all the insurance companies to hear our demand, which is to stop insuring new oil. And you have Snowy.
Snowy, the wonder dog.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell us about how you brought Snowy here today.
Snowy, okay, so Snowy's 10 years old. He's been coming to Extinction Rebellion things from the beginning, and because he's so cute looking, people like stroking him, he's become a self-declared de-escalation dog. So if there's anything kicking off, then send the dog in, and everyone strokes the dog and chills out. That's the general idea.
What a great idea, and this is part of what makes the community of Extinction Rebellion, that we look after each other.
Exactly, yeah. We are all crew, even Snowy.
That's brilliant. Well, it's lovely to meet you. You're a lovely baby, aren't you? You probably like to eat my microphone. Thank you so much, Ian. Cheers. Okay, so we're going to move up ahead. We're still, with this live stream, I'm learning how to work with a VSL interpreter. I feel like being in Extinction Rebellion has taught me so many different skills. It's taught me how to use dogs for de-escalation, and it's teaching me how to work with an interpreter and a camera and the rain and the vans in the middle of the road. So I can hear some singing going on over here. Let's calm down a little bit. It's a really great symbol for those of you who were around in April 2019. We had such an amazing action when we sailed the big pink boat into the middle of Oxford Circus, because we know that our survival is at risk. And I think the choice of a lifeboat is particularly poignant because am I not live?
It's okay, I can be quiet. I need quiet.
Okay, great, sorry. Right, so I am live, and so back to that lifeboat, which I hope to see some pictures of later. It makes me think of the people who are on the channel as well, and so many of these people who are taking that perilously difficult journey to get, are fleeing climate chaos, are fleeing wars over the resources that are being threatened. Dual extraction, and then it's a really, it's all of these different crises linked together. We can't see our survival in the UK as separate from the survival of the people in the global south. We have a planetary problem, and we need a planetary solution. And so that lifeboat, the whole planet, all of us need to get into a lifeboat together.
And other fuel insurance companies.
Audio here?
Companies are insuring oil and gas projects and householders in the US affected by extreme weather. Come on, Tokyo Marine, insure our survival, not fossil fuels. Don't insure ECOP. 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 Boo!
I'd really like to hear your voice if that's okay. Young people don't get heard now, and so I'd like you to be able to speak.
Ensure our survival, not fossil fuels. 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 Ensure our survival, not fossil fuels.
left, we've got Alex, and there's a occupation there, so we're going to get since then.
How very promised.
Well, very honest.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Not hearing you clearly. I think some signal change.
Yeah, do it. All right.
Okay, we're back at the march, and I've got a young person who has come to be part of this. What's your name?
Daisy,
Daisy, where are you from?
South London.
From South London. So you've come up here away from school. What's this about for you?
It's about my future because, I mean, insurance companies shouldn't be funding fossil fuels. It's ruining everyone's futures, like especially young people.
How does it feel for you to look at what's going on? You know that we've been on the streets for a really long time trying to do this. Now you're old enough to come out here. How does it feel to you?
It feels good that I can come, but not enough progress has been made. So it's still, I'm still hopeful, but it is a bit depressing sometimes because so little progress has been made. But there is still hope, I think.
Okay.
There's nowhere for people to flee. We've no second homes in the country. Please take climate change seriously. Tokyo Marine, you know the risk to society. Tokyo Marine, you will put them to underwrite catastrophe. They built this crisis. They built this crisis on oil and coal. Built this crisis. They built this crisis on oil and coal. Tales of growth forever. Greenwashing and lies. Unlimited extraction. Darkening the skies. I can't remember the rest.
We've heard some brave rebels occupying a building just around the corner, so we're going to head off and join them there. Let's head off. Woo!
Extinction! Extinction!
All that a little bit so I can read it. Thank you. That's great. Yeah. Sorry. Thanks a bit more. Yeah. Thank you. That's great.
And now all will die. Row, row, row for life, floods are rising high. Urgently, 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 and now all will die. Row, row, row for life, floods are rising high. Urgently, 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 and now all will die. One more. Row, row, row for life, floods are rising high. Urgently, 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 and now all will die. London's drowning, London's drowning. Call the rebels, call the rebels. Swim, 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 swim. London's drowning, London's drowning. Call the rebels, call the rebels. Swim, swim. Oh no! Swim. London's drowning, London's drowning. All the rebels, all the rebels. Swim, 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 swim. So 300 feet. Will die, row, 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 my life, that's the rising tide. And now all will die. Row, 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 my life, that's the rising tide. And now all will die. Still. No, our survival! No fossil fuels! No survival! No fossil fuels! No fossil fuels! No survival! No survival! No fossil fuels! Yeah, it's been like that. Hello, rebels. Hello, rebels. We're outside Alliance. Where we have brave rebels inside who are occupying the building. Occupying Alliance. If you want to come give a speech on the microphone, come over to Jonathan Conference. Insurance companies, you have a superpower. You can stop climate change. You can stop oil, gas, and coal companies from burning down the planet. You can be a climate hero. Stop insuring fossil fuels. No insurance for climate records. Allianz is one of the world's Allianz is the world's largest insurance company. Come on, Allianz, do the same for oil and gas as you've done for coal. Phase out now. Allianz is still insuring new oil and gas projects. Boo! Thank you. Boycott Allianz! 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 Boycott! Yeah. Boycott! 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 I just want to remind rebels that we have well-being here in blue. If you have blue, wave your flags now. Well-being here, they have chairs, they have warm blankets, they have earplugs and snacks. So go and talk to well-being if you have any needs or any of these things. They can probably help or advise with other things as well. So talk to well-being now. You can see the blue flags in the sky. They have chairs. You can have a bit of a sit down while we're chatting to Boycott Allianz. L-I-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you oily, you oily. L-I-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you oily, you oily. L-I-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you oily, you oily. L-I-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you oily, you oily. I think it's bad. I think you go where they harder. Because what we see already is insurers insuring fossil fuel projects. Look at that, the outside photographs in February, and as a result of that, as a result of that action, they've stopped underwriting certain fossil fuel projects. What's really important today is that the insurers in these buildings hear that we are here to stay. We're not going away. We know what they're up to, and we know the difference that they can make. We're here to ask them to act responsibly, to act for all life on the planet, to make the sensible changes that they can to protect our future and to ensure our survival on this planet. They are responsible. They are capable. The changes that they can make could affect the future for many, many generations to come. It's an easy change for them to make. We're asking them to act responsibly and to act now. Guys, we're going to do a U-turn in the road right now. So we're going back the way we've come, but to make it easy so we've got the right things at the front, we're going to go up this side and down that side, folks. Okay? So as you're facing towards me, we're going to set off in that direction. We're going to turn behind this banner here and continue on the march to the next location. We've got another occupation. So for now, folks, it's bye-bye, aliens, but don't worry, we'll be back.
just had this really powerful action in front of Allianz that I think we got some really good shots of. This is really quite disrupting business as usual right here in the middle of this city. We've got a group of people in there who are boycotting and are having a sit-in. I'm wondering if we want to go over and have a chat with some of these folks because this is a really vital part of what we're doing. I'm with the Extinction Rebellion live stream. Would you like to tell us why you're here and what you're doing?
We're here to make sure that Alliance insurance underwriters know that we are aware of what they're doing in order to underwrite fossil fuel infrastructure, upsourcing and downsourcing products, and we won't let them get away with it. So I think we're making our presence known. It's good.
And how much is Allianz involved with oil and gas?
That's a bit of an unknown because with the greenwashing and the public face that these insurance companies give out, it's impossible to know what loopholes are still there. So we're just going to keep on making ourselves our presence known until they can convince us all that they're not doing any more funding at all.
So you're making your presence known, but you're also asking for truth-telling about what's going on with this very opaque industry.
Precisely.
Exactly, that's great. So I'm sorry, we've got the drums passing behind us. It's kind of hard to hear what's going on. But have you got people inside as well?
There were people inside occupying the lobby, but they've just come out. So we're going to join the march now, I believe.
I'm not sure we caught all that. Could you just repeat that?
So there were people occupying the lobby in the building that Alliance Insurance rents, but they've now come out, so we're going to join the march.
That's great. Well, you've spent several hours in there letting them know how serious this is, which is great. And we've got here, climate emergency, come and help. Not now, when? If not you, who? So what brought you out here today?
6 words. Fossil fuels are our new black death.
That's very powerful. Those are your 6 words. Thank you very much. So these are the people who have been occupying this since this morning, and they've come out now to join the march because the march is turning around here and heading off again to new targets, because that's what we're doing. We're marching through the city. So we're marching through the city, stopping at the various different insurers and delivering them this message that it's time to stop insuring the new oil and gas. So we've got
And spent about an hour and a half there, I think. Allianz have made some moves to improve their climate credentials, but nothing like enough. They're still insuring lots of oil and gas, and they need to do much more, and the time is short.
So you're really calling out, they're making small moves, but you need them to really come forward and stop what they're doing with fossil fuels.
Like everybody else, this is not a time for small actions. This is a time for things to be done in a big hurry. The time for gradualism is gone, unfortunately, because we wasted it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for being part of this.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, all of you. It was really powerful here today. So the traffic is starting to return to
AXA Insurance. This looks like XR Health is here. Okay. Right, okay. So we're here also in front of AXA with some of the health campaigners. So I'd like to come over here if we can and see about for health's sake, stop insuring fossil fuels. Let's see who here might want to talk to us about what they're doing. Would you like to talk to us about brought you out here today? I'm with the XR live stream.
Yes.
You've been on the live stream already? You're popular?
Yes, I have been, yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
So, what do you want me to say? That's why I'm here.
Yes.
So, I'm here because as a medical professional, I see just many people are affecting their health because of fossil fuel pollution, especially children, elderly people. So, for insurance companies, instead of ensuring our well-being, just they are insuring pollutants of the world. It is just a paradox. The idea of insurance is to insure our property and our health. But in the contrary, these big companies are insuring the destruction of our planet and damage of our health. That's why I'm standing here to add my voice.
That's a very powerful voice. And you're involved in the health profession in some way? Are you?
Yes, I'm health professional, GP, but I'm not working in this country. I'm working in low-income countries. I have been 2 months ago in Guatemala. I will go to Kenya, and just wherever you go, what you see is the same. Especially where I'm working in low-income countries, they are paying a lot for the ones they didn't attribute. So that makes me angry, and I ask insurance companies, please stop insuring our just health enemies. I can't say it like this.
I think it's really important that message gets out, and I really appreciate you bringing here and doing the work here you do for health and the work in the other places, and I hope they hear you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak with the live stream and tell us what you're here and doing? Are you up for it?
Yeah, okay, why not?
Yeah? Okay, good. What's your name?
Naomi.
Naomi, and what do you do?
I'm a GP.
You're a GP. So you've got queues of patients back in the office, and yet this was really important for you. What are you doing here?
I just think it's so important because climate change is having such a big impact on health, well-being. It's having an impact on the efficiency of health services to run efficiently. Flooding, heat waves, they're damaging hospitals and things like that. I just think it's really important to do something about it. And I thought Ensure Our Survival is so important because I want to speak to people that actually have power to actually change something. So often we feel powerless about the climate crisis, but insurers actually could do something. So I wanted to ask them to make a positive change.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to catch up here. The march seems to have slowed down a little bit. I think we're in front of other places. Thank you, everyone. Moving on up, and seems oddly quiet to me now. Always odd when a noisy march gets quiet. Very interesting. We've got somebody up here who's ready to speak to us. I really like this big red sign up here, that we're going to try to get into screen. I think we had before. Let's see here. Hi, I'm Suzanne with the XR live stream. Anybody over there want to talk to the XR live stream?
Do I want to talk to it?
Yeah. Let's just show your sign. You don't have to talk to it. The future is closed due to flooding. That really says it all, doesn't it?
We're just a bit stressed.
Brilliant. Okay, we're going to move up through the march then and see who else we've got along here of this amazing group of people. Yeah. We've got Dave, who is my fabulous producer here.
Dave, who keeps getting lost.
This is Dave, the producer. Dave, who have I got to speak to now?
At the moment, I've got a couple of people lined up, but they've disappeared into the horizon.
This is the thing. We've got people moving about, and trying to get in touch with them is always a bit of a challenge. Oh, there's the car soup again. I love that car soup. So let's see what this banner is here that we've got. This was a group of people that we definitely wanted to speak to. This says adaptation finance now. That is a really, really important message. Now, I spoke with you a little bit earlier to speak to the live stream. I'm going to let you introduce yourself again for people who maybe weren't watching earlier.
Okay, hi, my name is Evelyn Acham. I'm a climate activist. I come from Kampala, Uganda. I came all the way from Uganda to the United Kingdom, and we'll be moving throughout Europe to demand for climate finance. But this time we are focusing on adaptation finance because there is still a very big gap when it comes to adaptation finance. Global leaders are so relaxed that they're taking their time to provide this finance. We are only getting finance in form of mitigation, but there's still a very big gap when it comes to adaptation. It will be impossible to achieve a 1.5 degree target if our communities in Africa and the global south are not able to adapt to the climate crisis. We need the resources, and we are not begging for these resources. We are demanding leaders to account for the crisis that they cause. This accountability should come in form of paying for a crisis that they cause. This is a pledge that they have to pay. We are not begging for the money. We are demanding for the finance because it's their responsibility. It's their accountability to provide the climate finance for our communities. So we are here to demand for adaptation finance, and for it not to come in form of loans, but in form of grants, because we have already got a lot of debts in our countries. Our countries are sinking in so much debt, and any finance that will come in form of debt is not going to help our countries. We want this money to come in form of grants and not loans. Thank you.
I think that is such an important message, because I think often in the United Kingdom there is a narrative about the fact that the climate crisis is coming, that it's something in the future, that if we don't act now, we'll have problems in the future. And I don't think that a lot of people in the United Kingdom are aware that it's already too late in many countries, and that adaptation is the only way to survive.
Yes, that is very true. Very many people are still misinformed about climate change. There's a very big knowledge gap, and I was so surprised yesterday. I was in a workshop with a few residents in the UK, and I was so surprised that people don't even know what climate change is, and they think it's a far problem. They think it's something that is only affecting Africa and the global south, and some of them can't even relate to the changes in weather patterns. They can't connect it to climate change. So I had to go through a process of teaching them from scratch, explaining what is climate change, and then after that explaining to them what is climate finance, what's the meaning of adaptation. They didn't know, they are not even aware. So I think there is a very big knowledge gap when it comes to climate change, when it comes to climate action, when it comes to climate justice, when it comes to climate solutions. And this is something that our leaders need to they need to pay attention to and build capacity in different communities, increase knowledge awareness on climate change, because this is a global problem. This is an issue that is affecting our communities. It's not just affecting Africa, but right now, even in the global north, it's already happening. We are seeing the floods, we are seeing the droughts happening, we are seeing energy costs going so high, and all this is connected to climate change. The wildfires that we are seeing that are displacing people. So there is a big problem in the world, and it's climate change. And leaders need to pay attention to this. They don't have to ignore this. It's not a problem. It's not an African problem. It's a global issue. But of course, some people are being impacted more. Well, we are in the same storm. Some boats are already sinking, and these are boats in the global south. These are people in the global south that do not have access to resources that can help them adapt to climate change, that can help them adapt to the impacts of this problem that we have right now. Communities are being displaced in our countries. Our people are migrating from one place to another because of climate change. Children are dropping out of school because of climate change. Girls are going into early child marriage because of climate change. So for us, climate change is more than just renewable energy. It's more than just electric cars. It is a health issue. It's a gender equality issue. It's an education issue. It's a food issue. Because of climate change, the food crisis is worsening in our countries. Because of climate change, education is the quality of education is not improving at all, because children are not able to concentrate in school because of the different disasters that happen and disrupt their education, and some of them have to drop out of school for like a year, and then the education lifetime is disrupted. So this is a problem that is interconnected in our countries. It is leading to one thing is leading to another.
Thank you so much for explaining to the people who were listening to this. You've done some basic climate education there about the realities of the global south, and it's really important that voice gets heard. So thank you for coming all the way to the UK, and we will continue fighting together to make this a better world.
Thank you so much for your time and for having me here.
You're very, very welcome with us. Okay, so here we are, and we've got some more lovely people to talk to. I'm Suzanne from the XR live stream, and you are?
Sam.
Sam, where are you from?
I live in Lancaster.
So you've had a bit of a journey to come to this?
Yeah, a bit stressful with the train being delayed, but I made it.
Are you here for today, or are you here for the whole thing?
I'm here for 3 days. Yeah. Making the most of it.
That's brilliant. And how does it feel to be part of this today?
It feels really good. It feels powerful. It's nice to be with so many people who are also aware, like me, of what we're heading towards and want to do something about it. So,
well, yeah. You're on the younger side of the people that are here today. So how does it feel to stand up as a young person, knowing that all these companies around you are ensuring basically the destruction of this planet?
It's very, very frustrating. I think young people are increasingly aware of the problems of carrying on as normal, and it's not something I want to see when I'm older. I want to see change, and we need to force them to change to have a better future. So that's what I mean.
We need to force them to change to have a better future, because we tried asking nicely, didn't we?
Yes, but they don't want to listen. They just want money,
And so we're back here again. I remember standing in this very spot in February of last year with the Insure Our Future campaign. We encircled the Lloyd's building. We're back again.
Yeah.
And you'll keep coming down from Lancashire, I guess.
Yeah, but we know that they do listen. We've had responses from insurance companies who have stopped insuring various fossil fuel projects. So it works. Yeah, we will keep coming back.
We know that protest works. We can look at history and we can see that protest makes a difference, and we just have to be those people.
Yeah, I mean, the suffragettes are so inspiring, and everyone learns about them in history and learns about how good everything they did was and how worthy. And for some reason, lots of people don't see what we're doing today as worthy, but I know it is. And I know that in the future, we will be on the right side of history.
And so are you a student now, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a master's student in Lancaster.
And what are you studying?
Environmental management.
Oh, so you're really trying to be both a protest person and somebody doing something practical.
Yeah, the state of nature and the environment makes me really sad. And I know what we need to do, so I want to be one of the people getting on and doing it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for being so much a part of this and for speaking. And do you have any final messages that you would like to drive home with the people at home?
Just listen to us. It all makes sense what we're saying. So listen and learn, and then come and join us.
Come and join us. Brilliant. Thank you so much. We've got some of this brilliant singing going on here.
That the power of love, that the power of love will rise above the love of God. I believe that one fine day.
Such beautiful music. And I've got another kind of musician here to speak with as well. Style of thing.
Rosemary.
Hey, Rosemary. So you must have been part of this for a little while. How long have you been involved?
Yeah, so I started in 2018, right at the end. We started our local group in Lincoln, and we've gone from strength to strength, yeah. And we've even got a drumming band, and we've got Red Rebels in Lincoln, so we're really proud of what we've been doing.
That's great. And have you been down here before with any insurance actions?
Yeah, I came down whenever it was earlier in the year, and yeah.
Well, I was just saying, I can remember standing right here. We had everybody standing hands around Lloyd's.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel about being back again?
Well, it's a shame that we have to come back again because they haven't done what we would like them to do. But on the other hand, it's great to be here with everybody, and I know we were successful at certain certain investment places last time, so we're hoping we'll have more success this time.
Exactly. I think there's a very clear message.
Time you're doing it, you know, you just the atmosphere takes you along, doesn't it? And the atmosphere takes you along, doesn't it? And just everybody working together to get something that's really worthwhile. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's absolutely wonderful. And it must be quite heavy to carry that too.
Well, it's all right. It just sort of gets on your knees a bit, but I usually end up with bruises on my thighs, but apart from that, it's all right, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I can remember a standoff there at Lloyd's. We're back with them again. We'll continue with this. This is a really important campaign, and we have to remember that insurance is a bit of the low-hanging fruit, that these people don't want to have too many risks. Oil and gas eventually is. I think the question to the insurance companies is whether they want to be a leader or whether they need us sitting in their occupation rooms, occupying their lobbies. I'm at the Extinction Rebellion live stream. Would you like to say a few words with us?
I'm not that knowledgeable, to be honest, but I just care about the cause. That's the main thing. I'm just care about what's happening with climate change and the problems that are happening in the world, around the world, with deforestation and all the flooding and everything, and the hurricanes, and they're getting worse. And I just care about that. So I don't know that much about this whole insure thing, but I just care about what's happening in the planet and the future for our kids. That's what I'm bothered about more than anything.
Well, that's amazing. You know, I don't think any of us are experts here.
Yeah.
You know, we're ordinary people who can see that we can't go on like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, you're doing it for your daughter, even if she's at school. You're doing what you can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's just a whole bunch of people, each one of us doing what we can, that can make the difference.
Yeah. Hopefully, the tide will change and things will start going in another direction. We just hope so.
Well, we know it won't change if we don't do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Go well. Okay, I've got my interpreter back now, and we seem to be kind of staying at this point here. I'm not quite sure. We're around some really big buildings. I'm not quite sure which company we're in front of. What I am seeing is people are doing something exciting. There's a bit of a stage over here. There may be a little bit of performance art going on. The boat that I've been talking about so much is up here. The pink boat, the pink lifeboat is over there. And I think they've got something planned with the lifeboat. But while I wait to figure out what's happening with that, let's see who else we've got that we can possibly have a wee word with, because there are so many different kinds of people who have come down to this. I'm wondering, would you feel comfortable coming on the live stream and telling us what brought you down here with that beautiful drum?
Well, I enjoy drumming, but it feels to me like it's something positive that we can do together. Some people are good at singing, some people are drumming, but we're drawing attention.
Are you guys not dying? If you're dying, we're going up there.
Oh, there's some people dying. Right, we're on the live stream right now, so I'm not sure we're going to die, but you can go die. Go well. Maybe I'll need to die at some point as well. That's the real thing that's happening here. So I think this is the end of our march. We're here. There's going to be a great die-in. So people are getting themselves in place for that. And I always feel like a die-in is actually a really, really strong action. When you walk around and you see these bodies lying there, it's a really big thing for the passerby. So I'm going to try to see if we can get some from Uganda. And we're going to see, I think I've spoken with Evelyn from Uganda. One of our producers is taking me to Evelyn, but we had a really long conversation. So making sure that we amplify the voices from the Global South. Mazza wanted to make sure that we'd spoken with Evelyn from Uganda, and I thought that her words were so strong about what's happening in the Global South, the reality of the climate crisis that's not something far off in the future, but something that's happening right now, far more in the Global South than it is here. We are having flooding in the UK. We have seen flooding in Belgium, in Germany, in Italy. It is coming our way, but it has been happening in the Global South and to a much greater extent. Let's not forget that Pakistan had 30% of its landmass covered, 18 months ago. It's continuing to be a crisis that is engulfing everyone. And so here we're waiting for the action to get started. We have some kind of die-in planned. And it's all coming together in this lovely plaza, which I'm just looking up at these buildings towering over us, and it's like the colonial power is still here. I feel absolutely tiny when I look up at these huge buildings and the power that they hold over our lives. These are the people who are making sure that oil and gas companies can extract fossil fuels and have their risks insured. So these are the people who think it's okay. These are the people who think it's okay to continue to drill into the earth, to continue polluting the world that is causing so much death and destruction. Thank goodness that we have people here who are standing up against this might. And the die-in is beginning. The emergency has started. It's an emergency. The climate crisis is here. Everybody is falling dead. In some places, this kind of destruction has already happened. Hundreds of people wiped away in North Carolina, in Italy, in Uganda, in Kenya, in Bangladesh, across Southeast Asia, coming to a river near you soon, coming to a coastline near you soon. The waters will continue to rise.
In January 2023, the UK faced a staggering 98 flood warnings as relentless rain caused widespread flooding. By February, Libya was not spared, as catastrophic storms led to the collapse of 2 dams, drowning the city of Derna and claiming potentially 18,000 lives. The grim reality continued through the year. March 2023 marked the UK's wettest month in 40 years. April brought flash floods to Fort Lauderdale, where 25.6 inches of rain fell in just 12 hours, engulfing buildings. In May, central Greece experienced 3 days of extreme rain, leading to landslides that displaced 36,000 people and claimed 22 lives. Fast forward to June 2024, where torrential downpours in London overwhelmed drainage systems, leaving 24 boroughs flooded, with homes and businesses submerged. In July, record-breaking heat and storms wreaked havoc across the USA, displacing thousands and damaging thousands of homes. In October, Storm Babette battered northern England and Scotland, with winds of up to 115 miles per hour and over 200 millimetres of rain, disrupting transport routes. The following month, Storm Kieran caused catastrophic flooding in Italy, 100 millimetres of rain falling in just 24 hours, leading to than they would be otherwise. The fossil fuel companies, along with their enablers in the insurance industry, bear a significant part of the blame. While they profit from the destruction of our planet, the insurance sector continues to underwrite their reckless behaviour, prioritising profit over the health of our environment and communities.
Their complicity in this crisis must not be overlooked, as they ensure and support projects that contribute directly to climate collapse. The future looks grim. Food shortages loom as crops are destroyed, and global stability hangs by a thread. This is not merely a wake-up call, it is a clarion alarm, signalling that the next few years could be catastrophic if urgent action is not taken. Stay tuned for further updates.
Silence has really descended over this plaza. People walking through, trying to go about their daily lives, and they don't know what to do. It's a really powerful moment. We can see the climate crime scene, drawing the lines around the bodies, which is what will happen, what does happen already in other places when we have these mass deaths. time to get up now. That was a really powerful moment. You could really feel that. So we've got a banner that stayed upright, the Ensure Our Survival, who kept that message flying during the die-in. I'd love to ask you on the live stream how you found that die-in experience.
I thought it was really beautiful, and I think it was very apt. I think that's the long. Get some photos and some videos of it.
Well, it looked really powerful with everybody dying, but with that message still standing strong. So thank you.
No, thank you very much.
And the ground's a bit wet, so you know.
I would have laid down, but I had the sign. I didn't realise that's what we were doing here. So I haven't done my homework. I need to know the rules for the next one. It's my first time. So.
This is your first time. Wow, that's amazing. How does it feel then? Your first time?
I'm enjoying it, but it feels like the right thing to do. I've wanted to do this for a long time, so I guess I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
What made you step out this time?
I've wanted to for a long time, but ultimately family commitments. I worked in a job that I didn't feel would support me if I was in that, but now I work in the charity sector. So I spoke to the people I work with and they were like, no, it's okay. So I felt that I need to do it now. It's the right thing, and I will be doing more. I will be doing more.
That's amazing. Well, it's hard to kind of step out of our daily lives and our business as usual to do this, and that's
business
great.
As usual. Business as usual gets me down because I don't think it is business as usual. Capitalism is not sustainable, and it's frustrating going into the City of London and doing your job when you know that it's not sustainable.
Well, you know, people making steps like yourself, you know, moving from a job where people wouldn't support this to going to work with a charity where they do, you know, that's how we all join together and make difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm going through a period of change and roll on everyone else's evolution. It's time.
Well, everyone out there, take that step that you were maybe too afraid to take, you know. Now's the time to live your life.
Absolutely. Live your life now and help protect it for those in the future. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys. Cheers.
Take care. So, we're back here. I feel like there are some speeches coming up soon. But I'm a little, you know, with marches, you get away from the front of it and where the organizers are and trying to figure out what happens next. That would be great, but I'd like to make sure that our BSL interpreter is there for those speeches, because that's part of the inclusion that's really important to us, that we can be, you know, connecting with lots of different people and supporting different needs, so that everyone can participate in a way that works for them and in this kind of thing. So I think we're going to move around and see who we might have over here. I think we've got a group of folks over here. Have we got anybody over here that would like to speak with us? No? I think it's about time we talk to Dave then. Dave, you've been doing this for a while.
A short while, yes.
Yeah? How does it feel to be back on the streets of London?
Well, it's particularly good to be back here because we were here, was it February? Just a few months ago. And we know that had a really big impact afterwards, and hopefully we can replicate that. But it's I enjoy coming down to London. Never used to, but I enjoy it now with Extinction Rebellion.
That's great. Do you feel like we're making progress?
It's slow, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, the answer's yes, but we're just not able to move things along quickly enough.
The emergency's growing.
The emergency's growing. The reaction in some parts is to go backwards. Certainly over the last couple of years, I mean, without being too political, at least when we had COP26, the government of the day seemed to be on board even though they weren't prepared to move particularly quickly. And then we had a couple of years where we really went backwards. It was worse than standing still. And we've known since the 80s that something's needed to be done. And where are we now? A long way from where we need to be. So, yes, we need people to wake up. What was it Chris Packham said? We need people to get off the pavement and onto the streets. I love that phrase. It's brilliant. And here we are today.
Nobody says it better than Chris Packham.
Bit of a hero of mine.
Absolutely. You know, somebody who's using their celebrity to really actually call for change.
Yes, I think he's taking risks, isn't he? You know, his livelihood. We know that people have targeted him for his defensive nature. You know, so he's taking personal risks, but he's also taking risks with his future. I think, you know, the BBC has been very slow to react in some ways. You can read some of their environmental material and it's all there. All the news is there. And yet on the general news, it's not replicated. And the people that seem to be news anchors just don't get the message. You know, they need to do some educating. The environment people within the BBC need to really educate the rest of their employees and the people who use them.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, it's interesting that, you know, we're having to do the work to shine the light, for example, on the insurance companies who really want to stay in the background. You know, the focus has been on fossil fuel companies and things like that, and insurance companies have hidden in the background. The BBC isn't doing the investigative journalism about that, so it's us coming to the streets to shine a light on how they're enabling fossil fuels.
Yes, I mean the language that they use on the news articles. You know, the terminology that sometimes they copy the terminology that's used by anti-net zero people. So they'll talk about eco-terrorists. And we know who the real eco-terrorists are. It's the people that are funding and producing the fossil fuels. They are the terrorists. We're the earth protectors.
I'm sorry that our interpreter can't hear. We've gotten ourselves close to the drums again.
But it's great to hear the drums, and I'll go and see if I can get someone more interesting to talk to you, Suzanne.
Brilliant, because Dave is my producer here who has been going around finding lots of interesting people to interview. So I'm going to set him on his way.
Yeah, and I think people are hoping for a bit of lunch now, and it always affects the production levels. When your energy levels drop, then your production drops.
Yeah, and did you know if you come to a protest, we feed you as well? I wonder if people at home know that.
It's fantastic, isn't it? You can rock up, bring your own container, and you're fed. It's brilliant.
Fabulous. Well, let's move this way a little bit. Moving a bit away from those drums. And we're going to go through and see. I think everybody's moving into a plaza here. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit away from the drums. And we'll find some folks here. I think we've got some good folks around here. I've got somebody here who I think might want to talk. Would you like to talk to the XR live stream? No, okay. I thought I knew somebody. Would you like to talk to the XR live stream and tell us what's brought you down here today?
I've come from Ipswich.
You come from Ipswich, right? And how are you finding it?
Okay. I've been every year since the first one, so I've been to all of them.
That's amazing. So you've seen an awful lot of things happen over all those years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're making headway?
Slowly. Not so much in England, but in other countries like Australia and Germany and Holland. XR is huge. It's not bigger than it is here.
Yeah, XR is certainly a global phenomenon now.
Sorry, I'm not very good at talking.
That's all right. That's all right. What made you first join? What made you stand up and say, I want to do something about what's happening in the world?
I was in London and it was the first XR march and I just walked into it. So,
And were you concerned about climate at the time?
yeah, I'm part of Just Stop Oil as well.
Right,
and
but
insulate Britain. So
but when you saw that first march, did you know how desperate the climate was?
no, not until the March.
So you've really gone on a journey of understanding and exploration. Brilliant. Well, thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Okay, we are on the march now.
This is Dick Frost.
This is Dick
88
Frost,
years young.
who is 88 years
And
young.
He came to upgrade democracy. All right.
Dick Frost, you were on the XR live stream. Could I talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure.
My name is Suzanne.
Where from, Suzanne?
I'm originally from the United States, but I live in Worcestershire now.
You speak a very good English.
I still have an accent, it's true. So, what brought you to this today?
I was at Windsor for the demonstration at Windsor, and there were so many lovely people, I wanted to meet them again.
I wonder if we're getting your audio because the drums are really, really loud. I'm going to let the drums come past us. Okay. All right, so your audio is coming through. So, but you can't hear me, can you? Tell us what brought you here. Why are you here today?
I said it because I met such lovely people at the demonstration at Windsor, so I wanted to meet them again. And they are people I agree with, and it was nice to be with friendly people who you agree with.
Well, that's amazing. We love it that people want to come on the streets and be part of this.
Yeah, well, I live on my own in Cumbria, which is a long way away.
You came all the way from Cumbria?
Yeah, and I live on my own, and I don't meet many people because I'm a southerner, and I'm up north,
Yeah.
and I'm old.
You're living up north and you're old.
And I'm old, and I don't know many people.
And you don't
So
know
I
many
come
people.
down here to meet lots and lots and lots of people, and they're lovely.
That's wonderful. So you found a community down here.
Yes.
That's great. And you were at our Upgrade Democracy protest in August?
Yes. That's
That's
good.
great. That's great. Well, it's wonderful. Did you come to protest before when you were younger? Or did you
I've been protesting since about 1963.
Since 1963. That is amazing.
Because I was a left-wing protester on CND and all sorts of good things.
Well, you've been on the streets demanding a better world for a really
Oh
long
yes,
time.
for a very long time. Yes, still am.
Thank you so much for being part of this.
Yeah, great to be here.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay. I hope that if I live to be that age, that I will still be rolling my wheelchair out on the streets. Hello. So my name is Suzanne. I'm with the XR live stream.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if we could talk to you for a minute.
Yes, that'll be fine, yes.
That's brilliant. What's your name?
My name's Lynn.
Lynn, where are you from?
I'm from Wallingford in Oxfordshire. And there's a number of my colleagues from Wallingford Extinction Rebellion joined us today. And we've got one of our friends who's a word drummer as well.
That's great. So let's have a look at this sign here. I am here for my children, their children, and your children. We must stop using fossil fuels.
Exactly, yes.
Why did you choose that message?
Well, I feel very strongly about the importance of trying to save a planet that's livable for not just our present generation, but for future generations. And I feel that if we don't try to do something now, it will be too late.
So for you, it's a responsibility to future generations leaving the world.
The present generation and future generations as well, in terms of having a livable climate and also an environment and nature that creates a world that's worth living in.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck up in Oxford. You've got a good group up there.
We have indeed, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, the march is getting away from us. We've got a whole group of people who are snaking here between the buildings. So we've got this wonderful mix of glass skyscrapers and then wee little streets with Georgian buildings.
We've got folks in wheelchairs. We've got folks from Uganda. Everybody getting across safely because of wonderful stewards, which keep us all safe. XR would be nothing without their stewards. And we've got some beautiful stickers going up. Yeah. This is, there's a lot of outreach happening here. There's a chance to really engage with the workers who are, keeping the insurance industry alive. I really want to give them the opportunity to speak out, to hear that there are people who oppose what's going on. It can be really, really hard. You work for an insurance company, for example, to feel like you can make a difference. And we really want people to be able to join us. Everybody can make a difference wherever they are if they have a bit of courage. So I'm going to be standing here, and what's your name?
I'm Dave.
You're Dave. And Dave, where are you from?
We're from the West Midlands.
From the West Midlands. And what brought you here today?
We're the house band. We're Rebel and the band. So
somebody else from Rebel and the band. We were talking with John a little bit earlier, although I think we got cut off a bit. Yeah, so you're the house band. And
which was the election that Boris Johnson got in. 2019, was it? And we're both a bit politically gobby. And he said he wants to play bass, and I've always written songs. I'm king of caravans. I write songs and record. Jack played with me and produces as well, and he plays guitar with us at the same time. And we thought, he said, come round, let's get a band together. Jack joined in. So another activist, Dave Whiting, who he said, my daughter's a brilliant singer. Maddie turned up, and I sing, but as soon as Maddie turned up, I realised I'm never going to sing again because her voice is amazing. So I just fill in all the gaps. And we've got a drummer, and I write songs. And the songs just, it's really nice to write songs with a theme and a target and a message. So I found it quite easy to do that. And we've got about 12 to 15 bangers that we've recorded at one, which you guys know, 3 Degrees, which is being promoted by Extinction Rebellion now. We've got some more waiting to come out, which are all very catchy and climate related, climate protest related. So it's good.
That's really great. I mean, I think you're really finding your voice through music with climate now.
Yes, it feels honest. It feels an honest thing to do. It's going to say righteous thing to do, but that sounds maybe that's a little bit pious, but it's really liberating. It feels good.
Good. Thank you very much. So we're here on the street live. Actually, I wasn't sure there. Anything activist before?
Yeah.
Was this kind of your first time being a protest person?
Okay, so I've got maybe restrained by a couple of Prime Minister's special branch officers over the years. So I met David Cameron on Penzance High Street and I was polite, but I was deemed too aggressively polite, so his special branch restrained me. And then I made the national news calling Boris Johnson a traitor when he came to our town. So I was the only one. It's a very right-wing town where we live, so so John got in touch with me through that. So I get a little bit angry by injustice, but I tend to be a bit shouty, so this is a lovely way of channeling it in a positive way than just screaming. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really powerful parts of Extinction Rebellion, this idea that we have rage, but we do something with it, because otherwise we can just stew in it. But it's that being active makes you feel part of something, makes you feel connected to people, and then, there's a positivity that comes through that.
We've got a chant we're working on, which is, we're fleshing it out into a song, but it's come rise up, come rise up, come rise up. Unfair no more. Come rise up, come rise up, come rise up. Unfair no more. And then Maddie would give it some big gospel. And so
that's lovely.
We're working on that one, so we might stick that at the start of one of our songs, possibly. So
that's really brilliant, and I'm looking forward to us giving you some music at the era.
Singing. This is really good. You say one thing about the Extinction Rebellion, they like to sing. So that's really good. So we'll do some call and response hopefully.
We love our music in XR, absolutely.
We're acoustic today, so we normally seriously rock. So we're normally quite heavy, aren't we? So our drummer's not here today, so we're toning it down a little bit. So but the sound's great. The rickshaw's amazing. So really looking forward to plugging into that. So.
That's really good, and I have to say, I run an organic farm at Worcestershire, and you're coming out next week. We're having a benefit for some Spanish climate activists. So, because we know that people around the world are actually taking action, not just here in the UK, and you're going to be supporting that, aren't you?
We've got a very tight 40 minutes, which we're going to bang out about 12 songs for you, and be very, very loud. So we're really looking forward to that. That sounds great. We've got a gig on the Saturday night as well. We've got 2 gigs in a row.
So there's a lot of call for a band who has a great message and some great music.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting. We're really enjoying it.
Thank you very much for your time. We'll hear you later. Okay, so that's Rebel and the Band, BANNED. So we're going to get up here where we're making a lot of noise in front of Hissock. So where we are now is in front of one of the occupations. And that's why we're making a whole lot of noise. Because the beautiful people from the Faith Bridge came in here and sat in the lobby of the great Hissock's insurance company. And are they still in there? I'm not quite sure, but I was here this morning with them. And they are in there. We're here occupying, we're here telling everybody that it's time to ensure our survival. It's time for Hissocks. It looks like they've actually been removed in this. No, there's several. They're right in there. We can't quite see them, but they are in there right now. Christian Climate Action came in at 8:50 morning here with them. And they have been in here all this time. And we've brought the march to them to support the work that they're doing, to support the message. Today had to come past Extinction Rebellion, had to come past, be leafleted on what's happening. And so this is really disrupting business as usual. Very firm that it is time for change. We delivered a demand here 14 days ago that we would be here, and here we are. We will be back again if needed. It looks like they might be coming out now, and lots of people here are letting those folks inside who did the occupation know how important it was that they got in there to deliver that message. So there's a lot of joy here, there's a lot of celebration that we were able to talk to them, and you can see the employees walking back and forth. They've never seen anything like this before, but we're going to continue this. This is not the first time we've been here, and this will not be the last. This is the moment for the insurance industry to stop and take notice. Nobody who works in the City of London today can escape notice that Extinction Rebellion is back and that it's time for change. I want to talk to our camera about what brought you here today.
Yeah.
Suzanne, I'm with the Extinction Rebellion live stream. What's your name?
I'm a climate activist from Uganda.
You're from Uganda. You've come a long way.
Yeah, a long way, really long way. Yeah.
So, what's your message for the people of the UK today?
I think for me, my message to the people in the UK today is that they should hold their corporations and financial institutions accountable for climate action, and they should make them pay for the loss and damage that they have caused due to the climate crisis, and also join our struggles to speak for us, because for us it's difficult to have such campaigns and even speak about these topics. And when you realize that most of the fossil fuel projects, they're not owned by African companies, they are owned by companies coming from UK like Shell and BP Oil and other companies in Europe. So it is their problem, and they're affecting millions and millions of people, and they keep denying it. So they have to actually realize that we are also human and we also need justice, and they have to realize that this world is for us all, and the climate crisis affects us all at different levels. So I'm here to bring my voice and amplify my voice, and also inspire other young people around the UK to join the climate movement, to join the struggle for their future, because this is their future we are fighting for. This is the future of generations of many people to come. And of course, that's why we are here. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and delivering that message, because it's a message that people of the UK need to hear. I don't think that a lot of people in the UK realise the responsibility that the global north has for fossil fuel pollution that's causing the problems. Africa has only put in a teeny tiny bit of the emissions that cause the problems. So the people who contributed least to this issue are the ones who suffer the most.
Yeah, and this is unfair, because like when we talk about justice, we need to talk about fairness, we need to talk about equity. When you realize also most of the climate finance is going to mitigation, to investment in renewable technologies, but how many solar panels do you find in Africa? How many electric cars do you find in Africa? So it's a question about justice. I mean, it's not about it's not about that it's not affecting the people in the UK more. It's affecting them, but at limited level. So we are fighting that it doesn't reach to how it's affecting us. We are realizing that there is limited finance for adaptation, and most of the finance from the public. This is the funny thing. It's coming from the people. It's not coming from the corporations. So we need corporations to pay. We need polluters to start paying for climate action.
So this is actually going to be a really important topic at the next COP meeting, isn't it? Because the loss and damage issue.
Yeah, it's going like this COP is going to focus a lot on finance, on the NCQG, the new quantified goal on climate finance, and of course we are already I would say that we are already run overdue for climate finance, and this year this COP focusing on finance is actually something that is very urgent, but the global north countries are not taking it as an urgency because they are only looking after themselves, yet they are affecting millions of people. They are not looking after the people that they are affecting. They are not actually accounting for what they caused. Last year, there were so many pledges in millions for loss and damage, but how much money came into loss and damage? Actually, loss and damage is even more. It's more than 400 billion US dollars. It's not in $1 million. So we need real climate finance. We need real climate action that is equitable, that is fair, that even approaches and reaches the people who can have access to electricity.
Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off now because you have such an important message, but we're going to go over to the speeches and I'll try to come back and see you later. Yeah, so we're here in front of Hiscox and we're going to the speeches now.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I had to
I
cut
believe
you
we
off.
have the rebel from Uganda who's happy to talk about.
Oh, I think it's Evelyn who's going to talk now.
Pipeline, if you have.
And what was your name again?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Thank you so much.
You're being invited
to
speak.
Show up if you're here and take the microphone. Otherwise, we'll do some chants to get people excited. And this one, there's some drumming that goes in that fits quite well. So drummers, get ready to hit on the offbeats. So L-I-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi. You oily. Done. You oily. L-I-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi. You oily. You oily. L-I-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi. You oily. You oily. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this is Nicholas Omanuk from End Fossil Occupy Uganda.
What do we want? What do we want? So I'll just start by talking about why I'm here. So I'm here to talk about what we're going through. I'm here to talk about the injustice that we're going through because of corporations, because of corporate neocolonialism. European countries have profited from African resources at the expense of the people and the planet. Oil drilling since the 1950s, but people are poorest there. Residents have suffered from eating contaminated food due to oil spills. And the same is happening in my country due to the East African crude oil pipeline, one of the longest heated pipelines in the world. Thousands of people have lost their land. Many people have been oppressed because of speaking against this project. Is this justice? Is this fair? All in the name of profit. Companies come with misinformation, with promises of economic development, with promises of creation of jobs, with promises of building structure, yet they actually land from indigenous people have lost their land. And for them, it means culture. It's a source of income. It's a source of education. And this is what corporations are taking away from the people. We are here today standing in solidarity with each other. And we are here to stand that, and we are not forgetting that financial institutions are contributing to what corporations are doing. Be it banks, be it insurance companies, be it companies that are supporting in terms of the construction. All these stakeholders are involved in the destruction of our future. Do we want a future that is burnt? Do we want a future underwater? Do we want a future that is full of conflict? Do we want a future where there is food insecurity? Now this is the reality in our countries. And I'm here to stand in solidarity with all of you to appreciate what you're doing. You're fighting for us because it's very difficult for us to come here. So thank you so much and keep fighting. What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want it? When? 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 The people united will never be defeated. 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 Stop drilling. Start paying. Stop drilling. Stop paying. Stop drilling. Start paying. Stop drilling. Stop paying. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Can we have 3 cheers for Nicholas? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip. Okay. And now can we have 3 boos? Hip, hip. Thank you very much. And now we're going to head off again. Are we ready to march? Follow our stewards. Thank you very much. We're going to do our final march, where we'll have music and features and food around 2:30. So come along for some good vibes and cheering and chanting. Woo!
I'm supporting 3 resolutions this time.
We're moving on from Hissocks now. So we've made a good splash here, and we're moving on down the road. So this is the real strategy here, is stopping at the various big insurers, letting them feel our presence. Excuse me. In this one, they felt our presence with an occupation in there. And other ones, we've stood outside and made a lot of noise. I see quite a lot of insurance workers on the streets going, "What is this about?" So we're here making it impossible to ignore the fact that the insurance companies are complicit. They're complicit in the destruction of the natural world. They're complicit in the pollution that is killing so many. They're complicit in the warming and climate change that is causing disastrous flooding, unbearable heat, unpredictable weather all around. The UK harvest was down by 20% this year due to the very cold and wet spring that we had. So over and over and over again, we're seeing these effects more and more. So we're funneling ourselves in between some of the narrower streets. We were up at the great big glass buildings, and you can see now those glass monstrosities are behind us, but this is looking a little bit more like the old colonial empire. And I believe up ahead of us is Bank, which is the heart of all this decision making, which could do so much for the world. If these companies decided to dedicate themselves to looking after the future, to looking after the people who are suffering now, but also the next generation. Imagine what courageous leadership might look like, and what courageous leadership could do if it actually stood up and tried to make a difference, tried to do something for the future, instead of this short-termism, instead of "I need power now, I want more money, I want more power. We're at the heart of that world. But we've spoken to so many people who have chosen a different path. And there's an invitation in this for all of you at home to step forward. You too can come out here on the streets and be part of change, of being part of creating a better world. You know, you've heard several people talk about the lovely community spirit that's here. You can join this. You can be on the right side of history. And there's a real feeling of community, of solidarity, of we all don't know what's going to happen, but it sure feels better being part of something trying to change the course of human history. It's very hard to make change around the climate. We've made some change. Make no bones about it. XR, Extinction Rebellion, and the other climate movements have started to move the dial in the right direction. But it's not enough and it's not fast enough. So we'd really like to invite you to join us. We're going to be on the streets for 2 more days. You can come down to London and join us. You can go to our website and get involved with everything that's happening there. You can be part of this. We spoke with a woman who this was her first protest ever. So you can be the next person who's never stepped out to a protest. You can be part of all these lovely people who are marching here along with me. So let's see if we've got anybody else who feels like they can go on camera and talk about what they're doing, which is actually really embarrassing for people, by the way, me running around and sticking my camera and my microphone in their face. I'm wondering how you would feel about coming on the XR live stream. Could I put you on the spot?
Today, but I will come on maybe in the next couple of days.
Next time, okay. Well, thank you for being part of this. I really like your briefcase. It's well, this is a good shot. You don't need to talk. Just show us your props. Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. People get so creative with what they're doing, and it is really a little bit frightening when somebody comes in front of you with a microphone and says, "Do you want to talk to us?" We've got some folks up here who I think we can have a chat with. So I'm going to wander through this crowd, which is always a little bit of a... I'm behind you. I'm sneaking around you. There's my cameraman. So my name is Suzanne. I'm part of the live stream. What's your name?
My name is Kirsten.
And where are you from?
I'm from Devon, from South Devon.
Wonderful. You made the journey up this morning?
No, yesterday.
Have you ever been to one of these before?
Yes. You know, I was just thinking because I was warned that you will be coming, and it has a lot of it has a déjà vu feeling to it. Do we still do this? 5 years later, we are still doing it.
So you were involved 5 years ago?
Yeah, but I have been, but for me it's more like, do we still have to do this?
Yes, absolutely.
Really, really sad actually.
How does that make you feel inside?
Sad, you know. I can go to anger, but mostly I'm sad, you know, because I feel actually people are less responsive to our message right now. So yeah.
But you're still here.
I'm still here.
I think movements go through bigger phases and smaller phases.
Absolutely.
But we're still here.
Yeah. When I got involved in climate actions about 10 years ago, and I was clear that it will be a long-term relationship with its ups and downs. And this is not a down, but it's like, yeah.
And what was the thing that got you really involved with the climate 10 years ago? Do you remember?
I can't point out anything specific. You know, it was like just this influx of information, and also really sensing that something was really changing. I know I can't point out anything specific.
Just a gradual process of really what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, what made you feel like you could step out and do something with it?
So for a long time I actually was waiting for a protest movement. I was waiting. So of course also something one can question. And then I got involved in Ende Gelände in Germany.
Right.
So I would actually travel, living in England, and I'm a German. I would actually travel to Germany to be part of Ende Gelände. And I was waiting for a movement of mass civil disobedience in England. So I came back from one action in Germany in October, and then in November, Extinction Rebellion kicked off. And it was like, finally,
waiting.
I have been waiting for it.
That's amazing. Could you tell people at home who might not know what Ende Gelände is?
So Ende Gelände was a coalition of climate groups, and they became really quite prominent in public consciousness about going into lignite coal mines in Germany. So
there's a lot of coal in Germany, isn't there?
There is a lot of coal. So they would occupy coal mines, yeah, and very was very. So it was really quite very inspiring, actually, very inspiring way. And I think actually a lot of people in Extinction Rebellion I met in the beginning, I also saw in the coal mines in Germany.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? I didn't even think about it for some time.
Wow. That's great. My daughter went and visited them actually on an exchange.
When was this?
That would have been 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't done this kind of actions anymore. They changed, yeah. Great. And what did your daughter say?
So my daughter was part of actually, she was in high school at the time, so she was doing, working with Greta and doing the walking out. So she marched 600 students out of her class and onto the roads. And there was a training program then in Germany actually for young climate activists, and they went and visited Ende Gelände.
Yeah, my nieces were there when they were like 13 and 10.
Wow. She was 16 and I thought she was a bit young.
Yeah, completely independent from me, which was really nice, So they would say, my aunt is down in the mine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for being such a long-standing part of this movement.
Thank you.
Good. Well, we're going to go around and find some more people.
Enjoy.
Cheers. Okay, we are here, as I thought, heading towards Bank. We're on the steps of Bank, in the heart of the colonial centre of XR Power. Of XR Power, did I say that? of UK Power, British Power. This is the heart of the empire. This is where the money sits. 70% of all fossil fuel projects are funded by 20 insurance companies, and those companies are here in the city of London. So literally, stop insurance and fossil fuel cannot operate in the capitalist climate. Imagine if we put our focus on having more just relations and green technology and changing the way that we deal with each other, making a more fair society. Wouldn't that be a great use of all of this wealth? But here we are, asking for change once again, demanding change once again. Remember, we delivered a letter. We offered them not to come marching through the heart of their power. They didn't listen. So here we are again with more people. And I've got someone else who's got a really, really nice poster here. My name is Suzanne. I'm with the Exxon live stream. Who are you?
Stella. I'm from Nottingham.
You're from Nottingham?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I know a lot of the people.
Yeah, I recognise you actually.
Brilliant. Tell us what you've made here.
So yeah, I've got a poster of Not Waving But Drowning, which is based on a poem by Stevie Smith, where there's a guy out at sea who's waving, and people think he's just waving, but he's actually drowning. And it just feels a bit poignant of like how life is for us these days. That there's a lot of extreme things going on, and we're kind of calling for help, and people might go, "Oh yeah, everything's fine," but it's really far from fine. And
That sounds really poignant.
yeah.
So what was the name of the author again?
Stevie Smith.
Stevie Smith, and the poem?
It's called Not Waving But Drowning.
Right, okay. I'm
He
going to
doesn't
look
get
that one up.
rescued because people think, oh, he's fine, he's just waving to us. But actually, he's not. It's actually serious. He's really calling for help and not being heard.
And so this is the one.
Yeah, not being understood, not being believed, that kind of thing.
And so what do you think about this insurance kind of angle to our actions? You've been with us for a long time.
I think it's a great angle. There are some people there who could make a difference, could choose to make a difference, and I think it's a really positive angle to take to, go somewhere that is going to make a difference, that has got influence, and I just think pointing out and letting people know that we are noticing what they're doing just helps them to think again. And are you really saying that you're not going to help this drowning, dying humanity? Is that really the choice you want to make? I'm not sure. Surely not.
Let's hope not.
I think most people think they're trying to do the best thing they can, but we have to kind of cut through some of the stories that people tell themselves to allow them to carry on doing those kind of things. And just keep letting them know, you're seeing it from a very skewed angle, and you need to see the whole picture a little bit more.
And that there's another choice to make.
Yeah, they can make choices, and they can really, really help a lot. We can't stop those oil companies and people with so much money and power. It's really hard for us to have any influence on them. But those insurance companies, are one of the places where if they say no, then they're stuck. They just cannot do it. So, use their power for something.
And we've had a few that have said no.
Yeah. I'm sure they will gradually do that, won't they? But it just takes a while.
And we don't have a lot of time.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of having bad effects all the time, isn't it? So, yeah, people are crying out for help. Not only in other places, it will be here very soon as well.
Absolutely, and that's one of the points we've tried to make. We've spoken with a couple of people who are here from Uganda, and making the point that the climate crisis is happening right now. It's not like by the end of the century. Right now, terrible things are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even in this country, but a lot worse in a lot of other countries. But even in this country, things are changing a bit, and it's really not going to be that long before stuff will change drastically in this country.
I'm really enjoying this lifeboat. I've been looking at it the whole time, and I just think it's a different kind of pink boat than from 2019, isn't it?
Nice light one to carry as well.
Moves around the streets easier, but it also just continues to make me think of the people trying to cross the channel, even now, in these tiny little lifeboats with no other choice but to take to the seas.
And we kind of hear about the people who make it here, but the ones that are lost along the way, there's plenty of them as well.
And so many of them are refugees from war or famine or other problems that have come from the climate. It's their economies are being destroyed by the climate. There are wars that are basically over climate issues. Climate is driving so much of this immigration.
Absolutely, and I feel like the way that we're being prepared in this country is being prepared to try and block other people out. I think that's where the focus of a lot of the preparation towards those climate disasters that people know are going to happen
I think there's a lot of kind of encouraging us to start thinking in a way of, you know, batten down the hatches, make sure that you keep everyone out. And I really don't like that way of thinking. I don't think that's, it's not a global way of thinking, is it?
No, and we need to think globally and act locally. Yeah. Thanks for talking to us. We're going to move over to the speeches now. So we're going to hear what everybody has to say. So I'm going to pass you to the speeches. Thanks for your time.
Flooding has happened increased hugely as a result of the climate breakdown. Events which happened once every 100 years are now happening regularly every year or two, and causing huge amounts of death and starvation, or death and drowning, and destruction of property. Tomorrow we will be focusing on after the floods. After the floods, we'll have food crises and wreck lives. So we'll be here tomorrow doing that as well. From 7:30 in the morning for people who are able to wake up, and then from 11 for later on actions. On Wednesday, we predict a riot. That's what will happen if we don't act seriously on climate change. People will have no food, they'll be starving, there'll be floods, natural disasters. They will need to act now. They will do whatever they can to survive. If we don't act seriously now, we will have riots in the streets. We will have societal breakdown if we don't act seriously about climate change. So we're asking insurers to stop insuring fossil fuels. Insure our survival, not fossil fuels. Insure our survival. Insure our survival. Woo! Okay. Speak to
Do me a favour, do you take my press one out? Yeah. Set the bag up. That's right. Thank you. All right.
Lyrics, get them.
Pick it up as they go along.
That's really
I did think I could. Maybe you got to kind of fight for these. Hang on.
Good afternoon, everybody here in the band. We can start off with a song about speaking the truth to power. Just what you've all been doing today. Come on, big singers, sing out your songs. I've had a belly full of wrongs. These lazy days, this wasted youth. I got a stomach for the truth.
Yeah, so I think my son is a shop.
No worries.
Tell me the one where the dreamers died, building a bridge to the other side. Tell me how they go. Tell, tell me the one where the plans were made, punching a hole in a barricade. Now tell me what's the use.
Hear me? This is Suzanne. Do you want me to get closer?
I feel it coming too. I feel it taking me fighting. I feel it going on back in you. Now that I see see there. No happy place for a millionaire. Missing the way I get you. I'm watching you burn right out of my head. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I mean, okay. Cover the sign through the fire escape. Tell me how they confused. Tell me the one where the dreamers drowned, saving the souls of the overwhelmed. When there was time to choose, I feel it coming too. I feel a change inside of you. I feel it blowing through the dusty halls and hinder truth. Now that I see you there, no hiding place for a millionaire. Pissing away the lion's share. I'm watching you man right out of my hand. Oh, 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 I'll put you out. I feel like counting to now will change inside of you.
Well, we got it covered and it's like a cappella. Who needs the wind to blow?
We got it covered.
Who needs the tide to flow?
We got it covered.
Mine in the dark below.
To ensure our demise.
Who needs to raise the sail?
We got it covered.
Who needs to blaze the trail?
We got it covered.
Salt in the crop to fail.
To ensure our demise. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, let it roll.
Who needs the time to think?
We got it covered.
Who needs to void the brain?
We got it covered.
It's in the blood and ink.
To ensure our demise.
Who needs the wind to blow?
We got it covered.
Who needs a child to grow?
We got it covered.
Mine in the dark below.
To ensure our demise.
Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, save my device. Let it roll, set and stone device. Let it roll.
We stumble on until it's gone. We stumble on, it won't be long. We stumble on until it's gone. We already know. We stumble on until it's gone. We stumble on, it won't be long. We stumble on until it's gone. We already know. We already know. We already know. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll, save my device. Let it roll, set and stone. Let it roll, let it roll.
degrees. 3 degrees.
Next time. Next time. Do I need to unplug? Should I plug this in? Are you going to be alright?
This is very interesting.
Are they okay? Yeah, I leave it there. Yes. Well.
This lot, this is.
I think he wants to stay with her.
And the crude oil mechanicals are from Lewes, East Sussex, and this is World Earth. Hello, Earth.
I'm not on.
Massa to Earth. How are you? All right.
Yes, hello. What bit?
Do we need to wrap? I don't know. I'm just asking what you want me to do. I think it's coming to an end. The rain's really coming down. I don't think people are going to stay very much longer.
It's got some expensive equipment here in the rain.
Okay, let's get a good shot of like the people
Me and
behind
Alex
us.
will stand the umbrellas, and you can stand in the rain to start.
I don't mind being in the rain, but I think you want behind me the people,
Okay,
not
where do you want
that.
to go? Go.
Yeah, I'm good.
You going to say goodbye then?
Right, so this has been an amazing day. We have come into the heart of London here to bring a very important demand that insurance companies stop insuring new oil and gas projects. It's a clear demand. No new oil and gas projects. We need the insurance company to get on board. We need the people who are working in insurance companies to stand up and say, I don't want to be part of this dirty industry anymore. We need people who are in the banks here to do the same thing. We need to stop financing the fossil fuel industry. And Extinction Rebellion will continue to come back again and again and again until this happens. It's been a great event. We'll be back tomorrow and the following day. Join us for the Insure Our Survival campaign against the insurance companies. Thank you for being with us.